team to keep the other team waiting in the tunnel. Manchester United maybe digging into the recesses of Sir Alex Ferguson's mind in terms of just unsettling even the home side at Highbury.
A bit late, I think, aren't they?
A couple of minutes late, Manchester United. The hurry-ups come from Graham Poll. New captains, Henry and Gary Neville, the Cavalier against the sound head. Maybe Gary Neville taking something from the Roy Keane manual. Eyes straight ahead. Henry had a look. Decided that any handshakes might be for the toss-up alone.
I mean, what would you think? I mean, I was talking to the lads in the studio earlier, and they're saying this game, they just don't like each other, do they?
No.
Oh, good.
I think it comes from the fact that since Arsene Wenger's been in charge at Arsenal, Manchester United's national supremacy has been constantly under threat, and it's a rivalry born out of the right reasons, hasn't always produced the right behaviour. But with a fourth game in 9 days for both sides, they will be battling with their own bodies as well as with the opposition. Herculean efforts required, Herculean efforts expected. After all, it's Arsenal against Manchester United for the last time at Highbury in the league, and it's coming up live.
The planet is in a delicate balance. For every clever thing that happens, something really dumb happens elsewhere. At 8:04, a man received...
Nothing more he can do now. Preparation over. Nor him. Just one thought from this point. Win. We're at Highbury with Arsenal and Manchester United. Match commentators Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Well, they met 5 times last season. This is the first head-to-head for over 7 months. Arsenal, of course, won the FA Cup and the Community Shield at United's expense. But in the Premiership, the double for Sir Alex Ferguson, much appreciated. 4-2 the win on this ground. A classic from Manchester United's point of view. Well, will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64? That's the old song, isn't it?
Well,
the answer is yes, from Manchester United to Sir Alex Ferguson. This is Giggs. And their league form has been terrific. 10 games unbeaten, which started with the win against Chelsea. 8 victories, 2 draws in that run. 26 points, 25 goals. And while Arsenal have gone a bit cautious in recent weeks, Manchester United have gone back to the flowing basics of a system that allows Wayne Rooney to get into more attacking positions. But here's Henry and Fled. And Fletcher getting back. And John O'Shea, so versatile. He's been in the midfield where he is tonight. He's been in the central of the defence at Birmingham and at left back prior to that. Left back is Sylvester's job tonight.
Well, they're both set up exactly as we thought. Arsenal with Reyes on the far side there. Perez on the near side. Looks like they're going to try and get people forward. Almost play 4-3-3 when they have it. And then look for Hleb in particular, I would guess, and Fabregas to join them. Gilberto, I guess, will just be given the task of just holding, and if Rooney drops off, get yourself around them.
But it is interesting how both teams have been labouring without their regular left-backs. Ain't of course, still out for Manchester United. We talk a lot about Ashley Cole. We talk a lot about Wayne Rooney as well, and he was trying to fasten on to first sight of a through pass.
But we love the ball through. I just thought he was a little bit on his heels. Wayne Rooney there, unusual.
Arsenal have already felt the force. And the blue of Everton, of course, he scored his first Premiership goal against the Gunners. Here's Lauren. Fabregas. Perez has gone darting through, and it's a good ball into the feet of the Frenchman.
That was a great ball.
Wes Brown read it well.
Super take as well. Wasn't easy to control it as quickly as he did.
Rooney has been in almost immaculate form. Van Nistelrooy, I guess, is the symbol of the rivalry between these two great football clubs. Gary Neville well forward. It's a terrific reach by Sol Campbell. You might recall was left out of the FA Cup final 11 by Arsene Wenger against Manchester United.
Well, we did roll twice, Campbell, but that's an area where I think, said earlier, they might try and expose Arsenal on that left side of their defence.
Perez. This is Fleb. Tried to take it first time and missed the chance.
I think in fairness he had to. I don't think he was getting two touches. It's difficult, the ball skidding all over the place. To have taken control of that and gotten a shot in, don't think it would have happened. It's one of those that you just take a chance on. If he could have got it on the pure half volley, it might have been better.
Kleb's been in a winning side against Manchester United for Stuttgart in the Champions League. You and I were there that night.
We were. He played very well that night as well. But I thought Arsenal against Villa were very lacklustre, and there was no real zip to their play. I know it's only 4 minutes in, but there's far more zip and purpose about the play early on in this match.
Been a bit of rain in the London area, just slicking up this splendid turf. Fabregas. Now Lauren. Back to Henry. And Henry, the touch was too heavy even for his change of gear.
Well, it's intricate football again. It's little gives and go.
Gilberto had a bit of a wave at it, then it's run off Seagull for a Manchester United corner. Well, does he cross the line between sharp play and sharp practice? Depends on your point of view on this fixture. There's no doubt Van Nistelrooy has been in the thick of the controversy between these two clubs. Rio Ferdinand with a couple of goals to his name in recent weeks is understandably forward now. Giggs. Laid off by O'Shea. Ronaldo with a little shimmy. He's fired the ball in, and Arth had a lot of defenders in there, as you would expect. One of them, Lauren, and it's gone away for a goal kick. Cristiano Ronaldo's had his spell on the sidelines. He's really bounced back with those 2 goals against Bolton on New Year's Eve. And of course he scored 2 goals in this fixture in February. In some ways, Alex Ferguson's team selection has been dictated by the illness of Smith, the indisposition of Scholes, but he's also gone for some form players. Darren Fletcher's done well against Arsenal in the past in midfield, and so too has Cristiano Ronaldo. The problem for both Arsenal and Manchester United is the standards set by Chelsea, who are sitting at home with their feet up with 12 points out of 12 from the holiday period. Arsenal and Manchester United with 7 out of 9 so far, and a chance for one of them to make it 10 out of 12, but it's still losing ground, isn't it?
Absolutely. Well, you look at Manchester United, they were asked to improve this season. They have, but then again, so have Chelsea.
Fletcher, whose goal beat Chelsea. Only player to say that in the Premiership this season. And Paul just keeping a wary and experienced eye on these early challenges. Play cam available for you tonight. The Sky Digital regulars, and Thierry Henry is the first under that particular microscope.
I just wonder if he'll play a little more central. His starting positions, I mean, Henry, when they play with 2 up top and 4, he does tend to wander an awful lot the left side. But with the 5 in midfield, he might just have to stay a little bit more in the middle of the park just to make himself available. Still wonder, of course.
Edwin van der Sar new to this fixture, of course, but not to this ground. Had some good games here for Fulham. Against Lehmann, deciding that, and probably wisely, that he had to make a challenge. Really might well have kept that in.
Oh, he would have done.
Giggs is a deflection on the cross. Carried out by Toure, but only out to Rooney. Wayne Rooney's been talking of some criticism of himself, but he hasn't been troubling the opposition with headers. Not scored a headed goal yet. And it's 28 so far for Manchester United. Maybe you need to give him some tips, Mr. Gray.
Well, he creates that much, doesn't he? He doesn't often get himself in the position to. He's normally the one creating them for others. Those sort of areas. He'll get them. There's not an awful lot that boy can't do.
Campbell. Arsenal using the full width of the pitch in this tight but stately setting. And despite Gary Neville's disapproval, it was a free kick to Arsenal.
Yeah, he's just outskilled him, Reyes. Just a little flick, might even be a little nutmegs here as he keeps it in. Yeah, there is. Yeah, just edges him out the way.
And Fletcher. Oh, and it's steered by Fabregas. Tried to get a bit of power, but mostly placement, and he wasn't far off his target.
Well, if it's on target, it's in. Van der Sar's not getting this. It wasn't a great header from Fletcher, I have to be honest. Darren Fletcher should be heading it back from the distance it came out that way.
He steered one into that corner against Blackburn towards the back end of the old year. Very close to giving Arsenal the edge here. Gunners, of course, starting the evening in 6th place. They can go 5th tonight. Wigan above them. Even more painfully, Tottenham above them. And, of course, Manchester United well above them, and Chelsea almost out of sight from Arsenal's point of view. Part of that, Chelsea winning here at Highbury, ending a long run of consecutive wins for the home team in their final season on the ground. Pleb. Lauren. He's got a really good work ethic. Can translate itself into making himself an Arsenal hero remains to be seen. Still work in progress. Lauren. It's easy for Van der Sar. Manchester United actually conceded their first headed Premiership goal when Gary Speed, the old warrior, knocked one in vain for Bolton on New Year's Eve. Wouldn't really expect Arsenal to trouble Manchester United aerially, Andy, would you?
Not an open play. You know, perhaps a free kick, a corner, yes. Put a few of the big lads up. Might give them a problem or two, but that cross was typical. It's a decent ball in from Lauren, but no challenge, no one looking to get in the end of it.
When it comes to scoring headers, Rio Ferdinand's the man to give Wayne Rooney a lesson or two. Like the London buses of his youth. One and then another one comes along straight away. Toure. On the move. Well, there's only Henry could have been on the move really in that part of the pitch for Pires. Here's Neville. Fletcher and Gary Neville gambled in a forward run that might have produced a better ball than that at the end of it.
Well, it's given them a bit of joy, that side of the pitch at the moment.
Seagon this time does step in, and Pires is on the prowl for Arsenal. Pleb looking for help, there's nothing on the right. Here's Reyes. And Arsenal have a corner. Chance for Sol Campbell to come forward, who scored against United in the past, but not as an Arsenal player. Did it in his Tottenham days. It's O'Shea who steers it away. Campbell, Kleb, Henry. Kleb involved again. Henry, urging a shot. Gilberto.
Well, this is Arsenal for you. Thierry Henry saying before the game, I like it when the team overplay. We haven't been doing enough of it. This is certainly what they're doing.
Perez and Fabregas. All but Van Nistelrooy back for Manchester United. Fabregas gets it against O'Shea, and Silvestre has played once at left-back this season, but not happily. It was in Paris against Lille, that's a Champions League defeat. Turned out to be so costly in the end. It's a little bump in the eye, nothing too serious, I don't think. Rooney. Nistelrooy just pulling away, and Giggs is there as well. Giggs let it run.
Seagan did well.
Some space for Cesc Fabregas.
Well, they're playing five in midfield when they lose at Arsenal. They are getting players forward quickly. Fabregas, Leb, in particular from that area in the centre, have been getting forward, trying to support.
Fabregas didn't pull out. Gilberto is coming in from the left-hand side. Scored the winner at Charlton, scored in the romp here against Portsmouth, the home game last week.
Well, Henry just applauded the attempted pass. It was a decent one, but he knew he had to hit it firm, Reyes, to get it there. Only just missed his target.
Arsene Wenger drawn again into reacting to comments coming from Old Trafford.
Yeah.
A suggestion from Manchester United that Arsenal might struggle to fill their new stadium. Not so, says the current Highbury manager. But there's been no sign of the feuding on the field in the first 15 minutes. They're keeping their distance off it.
Well, there are perhaps fewer combative players on there than in recent years.
Slipped by Silvestre. He's a bit slow to pick himself up, as if he might have strained something. And his flick doesn't find Giggs. Gilberto. Nicely angled the layoff by Henry to Kleb. 2 touches for the likes of Fabregas in these early exchanges here. And he's had to drop a bit deeper to help out. Fletcher. Nicely worked by Van Nistelrooy. Maybe a first real run for Ronaldo against Seagull. He's obviously under instructions to help out, and between them, the 2 Arsenal players double up to decent effect.
As part of his job, Reyes, as soon as that ball went there, he sprinted as quick as he sprinted all evening to get back and help him.
Nice footwork from John O'Shea. A little clip by Giggs comes to naught for Manchester United.
Well, you wouldn't be surprised at that. More possession from Arsenal. They do tend to, as the captain says, overplay a bit. So they'll keep it for a while.
O'Shea went in well. An easy header for Silvestre, but he's just popped it back where it came from. Fabregas. We only know at the end of the evening just how much natural tempo this fixture's been affected by its placing in the calendar at the end of this hugely congested holiday period.
And it might be late in the game before one or two who may start to feel it. 1 or 2 gaps may appear.
It's nicely tapped up by Henry to Fabregas and on to Perez, who goes for goal. by the short route, but Van der Sar wouldn't want to be beaten on that side by the near post.
And not at that height. But watch Henry as he turns it around the corner, he gets in there. And I just wonder, had he gone a cross goal, anything coming back out again. And Henry's got a chance. Just opted for power. He'd have been hugely disappointed had that got past him.
Reyes with the corner. Archer came out to head it, and he comes out to challenge the Spaniard. And on both occasions has served Manchester United well. Some here believe that Arsenal have never really recovered from the ending of that fabulous 49-game unbeaten run at Old Trafford. This is the 49th league game they've played since and including that 2-0 defeat in October 2004. And the previously invincible Arsenal have lost 11 times. 6 of those losses this season in the Premiership. Ferdinand. Only linking with Van Nistelrooy, they have a terrific understanding. Ronaldo! He saw it there and couldn't resist striking for goal, particularly having hammered in a couple on Saturday.
Well, he could have gone on, but I think as this dropped so kindly for him, no pace on it at all, it was there to be hit. Why not?
He certainly turned things around here in February. And Arsenal had a good first half. Brown. Hefty from Van Nistelrooy, but he's got it back to Ferdinand.
Oh, it's always a difficult ball in United tonight. See how I know it doesn't pick up pace because it can't, but it just seems to skip away from you when it's hit as straight as that and as long as that.
Doesn't hold up, does it?
No.
It's maybe a bit lucky to get away, and then Nistelrooy's challenge goes unpunished as well. Little edge coming into some of the attempts to win possession, but Graham Poll ruling with a smile with Van Nistelrooy. His 200th game for Manchester United tonight. It's being followed for the moment by the player cam for Sky Digital viewers. 143 goals.
Staggering.
Murray, incidentally, is on 147 in the Premiership. And 3 off the all-time league record for Arsenal, held by Cliff Bastin. There's goals, most of them between the 2 world wars. It's a bit of a warlike tackle from Gilberto.
Well, it just brings play to a stop. It's a call.
Rather hurried the free kick. They've gone back to Pascal Sigon as the stand-in left-back. As Ashley Cole ticks off the days when he's starting to play again. Henry. Reyes lengthened the stride. Will it run for Fabregas? Brown with this impressive, impeccable record in terms of Premiership results when he's played. And, just looked at Ferdinand's reaction when he played that. He was darting back thinking he'd given it away. He very nearly had done. That would have been an absolute gift. Perez. And Lauren. Halfway through the first half at Highbury. Sigo. Claire. Suiting Arsenal the way they play it, getting numbers around the ball in midfield, but how they're going to progress from the middle third might hold the key So what happens in the final analysis?
I think he shows in his selection. Certainly his system, Arsene Wenger, a healthy respect for the team that he's playing against and the form they're in, I think more importantly than anything.
And the uncertainty still, despite a good festive period so far for Arsenal. They had those 3 consecutive league defeats. Influenced Arsene Wenger's tactical thinking. Owen Rooney, can he get it down here? He goes down, he's outside the area where he fell. And Arsenal sweeping forward in numbers, and this is Robert Pires behind Silvestre. Brown comes across, and in the end, Gary Neville gets the pat of thanks from Edwin van der Sar.
I think that was a more difficult ball. I wonder could he fed Kleb in. Kleb meets the run centrally, and I just wondered if he could just dropped it in behind Wes Brown. It was always a difficult ball to find Reyes with Gary Neville around. It was a super break.
It's a difficult ball to defend, but Wes Brown managed it.
That was a great ball in. Got pace, it had whip.
All the same, Henry will think. Arsenal well ahead on corners. Wayne Rooney, who had a fair old row with Graham Poll in this fixture last season.
Well, he's on about
debating this, yeah.
In fairness to the lad, I think if that's outside the box, he probably gets a free kick, you know.
Giggs, O'Shea, but just veered away from Rooney's reach. And now Lehmann, and you couldn't blame Ryan Giggs, who already has probably the is it the FA Cup goal of all time to his name for Manchester United against Arsenal, trying to produce something extravagant in the Premiership.
That was an awful clearance from Lehmann, certainly worth taking on.
Notorious dubious goals panel took Ryan Giggs' effort away from him in the 4-2 game here last season. It's gone down as an Ashley Cole own goal. Fabregas trying to force his way between O'Shea and Fletcher. Fletcher concentrated on the ball.
He did well because he tracked his run.
Silvestre. Rooney leaving Laura. They're coming more centrally to get into the game. Gary Neville has taken every opportunity to get forward, but the pass wasn't good enough for him that time. Just chasing back and getting a yellow card from Graham Poll for the type of tackle.
Well, he goes to ground here like Ryan Giggs, and I mean, I have to say, Martin, he makes the slightest of contacts here. His left foot just at the back there. Reyes has gone down as if he's been shot. And if you tell me that's a yellow card, I mean, it was a nothing tackle, really, to be honest.
Oh, Wayne Rooney having a word with Howard Webb, the fourth official. Phil Sharp is the assistant. Well, there hasn't been anything threatening, really, in the game at all, and the yellow card here has perhaps inflamed passions more than if the referee had just given the free kick. Well, it seems to be okay. Here's Seager. He's flipped it on with Gary Neville behind him. Here's Kleb. And now Henry in that favourite position coming from the left, but Manchester United got a lot of players back, even for him to try and take on. So he looks for The overlapping run of Seagar, and that produces another Arsenal corner.
Oh, plenty of those. Wayne Rooney still having his ongoing conversation with the referee at the edge of the box. Still there. It's not an argument he can win.
Henry's corner again. And, some decent marking by Ferdinand and Campbell. Maybe Ferdinand on Campbell. Maybe an England pairing in the World Cup in the summer. John Terry will have something to say about that, and others. But, didn't need to go for the ball. He just blocked off Campbell's movement.
I just think he should always have somebody coming around the back. Not somebody who's a header of the ball, but just in case that one is like that and everyone's marked up. You know, even if it's a Fabregas or a Chleb, just protecting it, keeping it there.
Henry somehow finding Chleb. Gilberto. Not too much loft on it from Campbell. Stuart Pearce is here tonight. The Manchester derby coming up later this month, and it is Manchester City against Tottenham. You can see it Sky Sports 1 tomorrow from 7. Toure. Campbell aware that Van Nistelrooy was coming at him.
No, it wasn't the best throw-in from Seagal, throwing the ball across your back four like that.
Ferdinand. Here's O'Shea.
Giggs and Ronaldo just switched sides for a bit.
Nice footwork from Gilberto. And some good shadowing on Henry by Wes Brown. More than his share of injuries, but when fit, he's a fine addition to Manchester United's defensive lineup.
Well, there's a no-nonsense type of defending about him. I think that the United manager appreciates and likes. That perhaps, you know, Ferdinand and Sylvestre don't have.
Clef. Well to leave Fletcher. Fabregas. And the free kick for handball. Within shooting range, certainly for the likes of Henry.
Oh, you better believe it's within shooting range. And I will be amazed if that's not what we get. Whistle it is, we know that.
Well, it was Graham Poll who allowed...
Was it him at Wigan as well, Graham Poll? Made him wait and upset him? I don't know if it was, might not have been.
Well, he's certainly the referee here, wasn't he, when... against Chelsea, when the quick free kick worked. Here he goes, Henry! And Van der Sar wasn't sure.
Well, I was, he's nowhere near it. You always see a goalkeeper scrambling across his goal. You know he's worried about the flight of the ball.
He's worried about the way he landed now. Rob Swire, the physio's off and running.
This is a brilliant effort. This is very, very, very close. About 2 foot wide. And it's at such a height that he's not going to get there. Just clashed against the post, maybe.
So he caught the post with the trailing right leg. Tim Howard, wasting no time, just in case.
Oh, I think it'll be all right. I think as long as it's not a twist, which it didn't seem to be. If you just give an impact injury there, might be a bit sore, might get a bit of bruising, but it shouldn't be something that stops him carrying on. Half an hour in, both teams will be fairly happy. I think Arsenal have been the better of the two in the opening half hour. They've looked the most likely.
Campbell. Been quite a thoughtful game to this point, rather than the blood and thunder of some previous encounters.
I mean, I think second half, even if we get to half-time at 0-0, I think this is a game that, you know, often these two play. And they think, well, OK, if we draw, it gets the game out of the way and we can go on. That's not good enough for either of them, I don't think, tonight.
Well, you wouldn't think it was good enough for Arsenal, would you? So far behind Manchester United. I mean, if we are in broad terms playing for second place in the Premiership, and the big prize that comes with it, the automatic route into the Champions League.
Well, that's why it's important for Manchester United, isn't it? With Liverpool's form at the moment.
Sylvestre. Now Ronaldo. Taking Perez with him. Fletcher. Sylvestre. Ronaldo taking it down. That's a spiky challenge from Reyes.
Yeah, it's a free kick. I think that's the right decision. Just put his body in the way. Van Nistelrooy. He's waiting on the ball, and Reyes wasn't. And that's it. As soon as he lost his balance totally. They've been fairly quiet, Manchester United, as an attacking side. The odd once or twice down the right-hand side, their right-hand side with Neville. Just nothing came of anything. But apart from that, they've not really looked like they would create at the moment.
With the two wide players having to do more holding their midfield shape rather than actually getting at the Arsenal full-backs.
I just don't think they've got enough of the ball to them. I think that's part of the reason. Ronaldo and Giggs in the right areas haven't had enough of the ball.
Sylvestre ahead of Ronaldo. O'Shea scored a superb goal at the north stand end that Manchester United are attacking in this fixture in February, just to wrap up that 4-2 win. Lauren. Fabregas. Henry. Head-up style of his to know what was on around him. And Gary Neville was in quickly for Manchester United, and suddenly, from defending, they're counter-attacking here. And Gary Neville not giving it up. Fabregas. Manchester United trying to regain their shape. Van Nistelrooy helped them win the ball back. Fletcher, such a good athlete. Matched by Kleb. Fabregas. Ferdinand just drawn out of the centre by Henry's movement.
You see there, the way the ball's zipping over the surface, the importance of a good first touch. You've really got to control it instantly and close to your body.
Brown does that. Just took a little bit too long. Reyes trying to set the agenda for Arsenal here. He's flying in maybe more than most players, trying to hunt down possession. As he didn't start the game at Villa Park on Saturday. It was Saturday, wasn't it? You just lose track.
Oh, you do lose track, don't you? A little bit of a misunderstanding. Well, he has certainly put the mileage in. Not only going forward, but also very aware of him to track back, but he hasn't had to do that too often, which is a little bit of a surprise to me.
Seagull being told to play it back to the goalkeeper. We went to Campbell instead. Paulo Touré trying to inject his own style of ambition into Arsenal's attacking play, likes the buccaneering break from the back. Fabregas. He's a perfect successor to Roy Keane.
Yeah.
Kleb. Reyes. It's a little bit wayward from Seagull.
No, he's just played it without looking.
Better the second time. And Roy can't keep it for United. More controlled possession has come from Arsenal, but hasn't really worked them into goal-getting opportunities. Henry. Shea coming out to break up the play. For Henry, Reyes, a touch for Pires. Reyes again. Henry was just trying to set it up for Reyes, but it didn't come off the Arsenal skipper exactly as he intended. Here's Kleb.
Just look how narrow everything gets for Arsenal.
Throw a blanket over, what, 15 of them there?
Yeah. Oh, that's two-footer from Gilberto. Luckily went for the ball and got it, and it certainly looked two-footed. Slips, and then he says, and we're in here. See quite clearly. It's two-footed. Thankfully, the only thing in danger was the ball.
Rooney got what he wanted, and curbed any flash of temper that time with his free kick, and he wasn't damaged by potentially damaging tackle from Gilberto. This is Pires. Will reach Henry. Laurie.
Yeah, but that's the second time in this left-hand side, Sylvestre and Ronaldo. Different wavelengths.
Pires. Rooney fired up then. Coming back. And Shea made to scamper. Well, the game in a nutshell is Arsenal having the ball in this part of the pitch. Manchester United saying, well, you're not going to break us down this way. But we shall see.
Not unless they pick a pass out. It looks very, very difficult when you get as narrow as they do at times. That little feed through there, time and time again, it does work for them, but so many times against the quality opposition who are well organised, it doesn't.
Ronaldo to Rooney. The four players a little further forward now. That's been the case most times in this first half. The away side. And we've got Fletcher on the ball, backed up by O'Shea. No doubt that Manchester United have the firepower, but part of the strategy is seeing the likes of Ronaldo and Giggs having to stop Arsenal working their passes. And here comes Ferdinand. Take that.
Yeah, get hold of that.
Rude. Reyes. It's ambitious. Well read by Brown. For all Arsenal's work with the ball, there hasn't been too much to alarm Manchester United. The free kick from Henry would be the closest thing, and that came from a dead ball situation, of course.
Well, I think the big disappointment so far, best part of 41 minutes, we've only had the 5 attempts and only one of them has been on target. So many quality people on the pitch. I might have expected better, but you have to give credit to the defending in both sides.
Pires, who had that shot on target, still not looking to shoot, but still finding the goalkeeper with an attempted pass.
Well, there they are again. Sylvestre, Ronaldo, cross purposes down this side, lose possession, now chasing back defending.
Laurie, only one to try and aim for in that Manchester United penalty area. And done very well there, Van Nistelrooy. O'Shea's ball. There's more than a hint of quality about it, and nothing of quality from Lauren's challenge. He's been involved in some of the mayhem in the past against Manchester United. He picked up a ban and a hefty fine a couple of years ago.
No, I think that's a ridiculous challenge, I have to say. He's making absolutely no attempt. He just waits for him, he's past him. There's only one thing in his mind. It certainly wasn't that little yellow thing that rolled past him, that's for sure.
He's seen a little yellow thing from Graham Poll's pocket. And he's now got a suspension. He'll miss the cup tie at Wigan, the first leg of the semi-final of the Carling Cup. Whether he would have been picked for that game in any case, by no means certain. Giggs. Ferdinand guides it down, and Van Nistelrooy tries to play Ferdinand in.
Yeah, might well have been offside. I think the fact that he didn't get the ball made the linesman keep his flag down.
So the players are protesting again. Probably if he'd got to the ball, the flag would go up. And the fact that that is not the interpretation now makes it difficult for fans and players alike. He was offside, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's offside. And I think the linesman just kept his flag down. Why stop the game? Yeah. No point. Got the ball. Does cause confusion, though, doesn't it?
He is top of his trade, Phil Sharp, assistant on that far side, who took charge one of the jobs on the World Cup final 2002. Here's Van Nistelrooy. He's got a shot on. It comes out to Ronaldo off Lehmann, and Cristiano Ronaldo. They've waited, what, into the 44th minute for a real opening here at Highbury, Manchester United. And Ronaldo has got Arsenal fans smiling, but he's hanging his head.
Van Nistelrooy's touch here was superb. One to control it, second to set it, third to take the shot, and it really does work Lehmann here. But this is a poor finish. Poor finish. His strong side. He opened his body up because of that. And really, he's miles away, and he knows it. What a chance that.
In a game of precious few openings to this point, Manchester United might look back on that. An extra disappointment at the end.
Well, you think on the back of 2 goals in his last game out as well.
And the back of 2 goals here at Highbury.
Yeah. He might just have strode onto that and just been a little bit more clinical.
Ferdinand. Reyes again was trying to fly in and win it. Giggs looking to get behind Seagull. He's collected it off the defender. And Gilberto does that so well. Knocking out the central defenders, tucking back into the back line. Giggs can try again. Blocked by Kleb this time.
There's a chance there. Twice for Ryan Giggs to deliver a telling cross.
O'Shea. Van Nistelrooy. And Rooney's in there. He'll connect with that header that he's looking for.
No, Torre's just gone down in the 6-yard box. I don't know if that happened just as Rooney and Torre were going in there, and Colo Torre was doing what defenders do. He was just going into Rooney, stopping him getting to the cross. He steps into him here. The arm goes up and just comes down a little bit. Again, it's more a graze than anything else.
Yes, but a graze in this fixture can start a riot. And Lehmann had something to say. Really his business, but there was a handshake involving Wayne Rooney, and there has been no riot, and there have been no goals in the first half here at Highbury. Cristiano Ronaldo certainly had a chance to grab one late in the half for Manchester United. Arsenal had a lot of the ball. Henry put a free kick close, and Robert Pires had a shot on target. There haven't been many of those in this first half, that Van der Sar saved by his left-hand post. And at half-time, it is Arsenal 0, Manchester United 0.
George Graham and Ray Wilkins with Jamie Redknapp, myself here this evening. Not yet then, but you sensed as the half ended there was something happening there. No breakthrough yet. The half-time thoughts come next.
Sunday, a big cup.
A little bit too much respect for one another, I think, Richard. Arsenal at home playing with three men in midfield, one holding player. If they played like that away from home, they would have having a lot better season than they are at the present time. United making it just nice and simple. Don't look as if they're really trying to score, but they'll be delighted to get at half-time now 0-0.
Did you sense something beginning to happen there?
Not really, Rich. I've been really disappointed. I expected a hell of a game tonight, and we just haven't seen it. It's just not ignited yet, and it's got to be a better second half than that. And I think they've got to go for it, haven't they? You know, one of them wants to win the game, surely, and it is a classic encounter, but unfortunately it hasn't started.
When you've missed an opportunity like Ronaldo, Jamie, does that play on your mind as you sit in the dressing room at this stage?
I think we sat here when it fell to Ronaldo, scored two against Bolton. I mean, he thought that could have changed his season round. This was such a great chance. Fantastic first touch by Van Nistelrooy. Bang, hits it, and there it's on. Just slide it into the corner, and unfortunately he just gets underneath it. And it was the chance, or perhaps the only real chance of the game. And for him, with his ability, left or right foot, you fancy him to score there.
Did he have to open himself up?
Well, I don't think he did, Richard. No, just come onto it and lash it. Just lash it past him with pace, and you'd beat him. But as soon as he opened himself up, it was only going one place. That was over the top.
When Manchester United met Arsenal in that FA Cup final, and Arsenal set up in this fashion, I mean, it can't go to penalties tonight, but it was one of the great robberies of all time, that, wasn't it?
Yeah, and
do you fancy them to do the same again, perhaps tonight?
It's very unlike Arsenal to play that way. It's against Arsenal's principles. You know, he likes sort of like passing the ball. He likes attacking. And tonight, at home, they're not doing as much as attacking as they normally would do. I'm hoping the second half, maybe after 15 minutes, you know, I think he's going to say, right, let's really go for it. And then we'll see, you know, who really wants to win the game then.
In truth, a point's no good to anybody. Really,
but I thought we might have put someone up there with Henry anyway, Richard, because it's not Roy Keane and Paul Scholes you're playing against in the centre of midfield. With the utmost respect, it's Fletcher and O'Shea. And O'Shea being predominantly a defender anyway. So I would have thought, had he seen the way that Man U were going to play, he might have just switched up against them, played 4-4-2 and really gone for them, but hasn't been the case. And I would like to have seen him go two up the top and try and get at Man U and give them some problems, because they really haven't had too many problems to deal with.
Do Manchester United need to change anything?
Well, it's slightly different. I think, like George says, Arsenal playing with a 5 in midfield, and they're not quite getting the support up to Henry that they want. Manchester United think, well, we're in at half-time. They started to get the better of the game as it went on, and I think they'll be reasonably happy. They'll believe that second half they can come out, add a little bit more, and I think they've got, if anything, I think Man United will go on and win this game now.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
I think especially down Man U's right-hand side, Gary Neville's got a willingness, Richard, to keep bombing down that right-hand side. And with Seagan, who isn't extremely comfortable at left full-back, I think they've got a right chance down that side.
You just wonder, you know, at the end of the game, who's going to be the more happier with a point, you know, and that's what fascinates me with the managers, because you see Arsenal sort of languishing, was it sixth in the table and that, and you think, you know, they're the ones that really need the 3 points. They're the ones that want to get into that top 4. I think United realise that United may be happy with a point, but I don't think Arsenal should be.
We shall see when we come back. Nothing yet by way of a breakthrough. I'm sure you'll recognise the dreadlocks. That's Anton who's made the effort to come along tonight. And watch Rio. Second half up next, live. Monday, Scottish Cup third round tie between Clyde and Celtic. Roy Keane eligible to play, of course, for Celtic. You can bet your life at some stage they'll involve him. 12:30 start, Sky Sports 1. And from the FA Cup, it's Burton against Manchester United at 3 on Sky Sports 1. So what changes, George, and when in this match if someone's going to win it?
Richard, I think for the first 15 minutes, 20 minutes, I think both sides will be still parring with one another, just looking for an opening, being very, very patient. And I think after 20 minutes, if it's still 0-0, I think really Arsenal have got to say, right, let's bring on maybe another forward up front and let's go for the win.
It's ironic, isn't it, Ray, that a system Arsene Wenger has said publicly he doesn't like has served him well against Manchester United on the last 1.5 occasions that he's met them.
Yeah, and if you remember the first occasion, which they didn't really play, did they? Didn't really take part in the game. Obviously, they won the game on a penalty kick. But I was very surprised that he went with 5 across the middle of the field. I thought he'd have had a real go at United tonight.
Will they yet, Jamie?
Yeah, I mean, just kind of, right, I think it's an admission that he doesn't feel that he's strong enough in that department in central midfield to cope against Manchester United, especially today without Scholes and Smith, who were very combative in there. I think it was an area where you could have perhaps gone 2 for 2 and played one up front, maybe played Reyes alongside Thierry Henry and have a real go at it. But they haven't done it yet. I agree with George that I think you might give it 10 minutes and then I'm sure we'll see Arsenal go with 2 up front.
We'll be watching Wayne Rooney on Player Cam. That's a facility, of course, for Sky Digital viewers. as we rejoin Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Thank you, Richard. Arsenal ready to get the second half underway. No sign of a half-time change from either of the rival managers. And you'll have a look at it tactically as Henry and Pires, Messieurs Henry and Pires, get the ball rolling. It's been an interesting game from the tactical viewpoint, but I'm sure all of you watching in your armchairs would like to see a little bit more goalmouth action from this fixture, which has produced plenty of goals in the Premiership years, and plenty from him.
Oh, it's just about on the limit if he wants to hit it. The good thing about hitting it from this sort of range is you can get enough power in it, and you've got the distance to get it up and over the wall.
And sometimes the ball does the rest for you. See what Henry's got in mind, though. It's a short approach, so it's a clip ball, and Gilberto might have just deflected it and taken it away from Campbell behind him.
I think the short run-up gave the clue what he was having. Henry. Well, no real change at half-time. I'm a little surprised that Giggs has started right-hand side against Segan and Ronaldo the left. I didn't think Manchester United made the most of Ronaldo's pace and trickery and going against Segan first half. They're sticking with that now. George asked the question, which manager would be happy with a point? We'll see as the game goes on. I don't think there's any doubt in my mind which manager would be happiest with a point. That's Alex Ferguson, which would mean it would keep Arsenal 11 points still behind them.
I mean, it's a huge gap, isn't it, from Arsenal, even against the second place club. And here's a chance to cut that gap. But, really the bold approach. Maybe we'll see more attacking adventure from Arsenal in the second half. Reyes certainly has been enterprising in his attitude. Knocked out of harm's way by Sylvestre.
I just think when you look at benches as well, lack of real options, genuine options. You know, there are a couple on each bench, but I think they'd like more. And fit squads, they would have more, no doubt about that.
Fabregas, Kleb. It's Gary Neville's foot that converted the ball behind Seagull. Slipped by Henry. But he's found Gilberto. Pires. Reyes trying the turn, and it's led to a corner.
Another ace, Manchester United are Brown and O'Shea and Rooney. The linesman was very quick to point to a corner. I just noticed Henry down in his hunches in the area. I wonder if he's just getting up now.
Reyes takes the corner. Seagull got a couple of goals here early in the season against Fulham. Fabregas. Having a fair old chat through the course of the evening, Wayne Rooney and Graham Poll. Ronaldo. O'Shea. Pitch back to Neville by Giggs. And it's a almost leisurely build-up by Manchester United. Maybe the team that quickens the passing will be the team that will quicken the pulse in the end of the viewers. Gilberto. Just away by Brown, only away. Lauren, along with Ryan Giggs, was booked in the first half. Van Nistelrooy, who does try and manoeuvre the latest interpretation of the laws to his advantage, but I think that time was probably just caught back on his heels.
Yeah. There's not much in it, but it's probably just offside. Not a lot in it.
He scored twice in his Manchester United career against Arsenal, once here, and of course the penalty when the unbeaten run came to an end. That was controversially gained by Rooney's reaction to Campbell's challenge. Lauren. Perez. And, having to be precise, shortage of numbers for Arsenal, but in comes Toure. There's a change of mood when he's on the ball. Perez again. This is Fabregas. And Toure stayed in there. Comes for Henry! And Rio Ferdinand got in the way.
And the goalkeeper was after that shot. That's an indication of it being on target. Just every now and again, Toure's joined the attack and has managed to make something happen, and he does it again here. This is beautifully struck. You see the goalkeeper after it. Might have been going wide, but Van der Sar wasn't sure.
But that's the majesty of these meetings, isn't it, Andy? That just when the match seemed to be meandering, somebody can decide it with a flash of brilliance. Rooney certainly comes into that category. O'Shea. Has had so little to do, the hero of the FA Cup final from Arsenal's point of view.
What do you think is more important for Arsene Wenger? Not to lose or to win?
I think it should be to win, but I'm not totally convinced that his tactics suggest that he believes that.
I just think the next half hour of this game will maybe show us what's...
But he has been a manager who's always gone out to win in the past, hasn't he? But then suddenly he's hit a losing streak, and even the most ambitious coach can be affected by that, especially these days when every defeat is analysed and scrutinised like the end of the world. This is Fletcher. And now Giggs. Looking for Rooney. And the header wasn't going to find its way in directly. Ruud van Nistelrooy was interested in applying a second and decisive touch.
Well, I don't think he can get enough on the header to guide it to Van Nistelrooy. And I think he's just trying to head it for that top corner. I think if he could have got above it a little bit better, he could have gotten it down in front of Van Nistelrooy. His options were limited.
As we were saying earlier, he's been critical of his own head work.
That wasn't easy, that one.
Good defensive head work by Gary Neville. A touchdown by Clem, who hasn't added to Arsenal's goal power in playing in the middle of midfield. So looking for his first strike for his new club, and of course he had a penalty saved in that shootout at Doncaster recently in the Carling Cup. It ended up on the right side of the result. We've had a lot of penalties this season, Arsenal, 10 in all competitions. Rooney. Here's O'Shea. Showing that he has got a very decent touch. He's an accomplished midfield player when Arsenal, when Alex Ferguson decides to use him there.
Well, he's certainly not looked out of place there. Just wants a word there. Is it Rooney again? I think he's still miffed at Giggs' booking, you know, for such an innocuous challenge. But every time he gets pulled down, he's thinking, well, why no card?
That was a long time ago.
Yeah. That's big again.
And Ronaldo just trying to suggest that somebody could have come round the back then.
Well, I said it in the first half with regards to Arsenal's corners. Sometimes you do overhit them, and you should... It does pay at times. Just to have someone... Everyone goes in. Look at them, 5 of them. Can almost throw a blanket over every one of them. Spread wasn't well. What I would call the spread wasn't good there.
Henry. Now Reyes. Rooney. Can't get away, had an arm up as well. He'll try and hold off Perez, but Perez was coming back at pace.
Yeah, he did well.
Kleb. Gilberto. Given the chance to play the ball in. He does straight into the gloves of Edwin van der Sar. And it's a risky place in which to try that turn for Ronaldo. But it's worked out for him because Seagull, well, he was going to attack, and it's Ronaldo who crosses, and Ryan Giggs arrives unmarked.
Well, it's not often you see he doesn't have an awareness of what's around him. And I think he had an opportunity here to take a couple of touches if he wanted, or even have a look at Rooney, just trotting through the centre circle now, and the position that he ends up, right on the edge of the box, for anything tucked back in that area.
Well, Ryan Giggs was actually suggesting in his own defence that the floodlights, which are along the stand here, and a bit lower than in some grounds, the reason that he didn't see it as well as he might have done. Kleb. Kleb on the run. Back to trying to stick with him, but he's fouled him. Henry again checking with Graham Poll what he's allowed to do, or when he's allowed to do it.
Well, they could certainly stand this up.
Toure's making a run in there. Seagull. Gilberto. And out comes Ruud van Nistelrooy. And he slipped. And it might yet run for Rooney. There are lots of others in blue herring into the middle who are well positioned now for Ronaldo to find. Cleared by Campbell.
Poor cross in the end. Super block by Wes Brown, the other end.
Ferdinand. He's tossing it forward really towards Giggs. First Van Nistelrooy, and then Ronaldo had a chance to open up Arsenal from this side, and Ronaldo has a chance again, and again it's a chance that's not taken. But maybe fourth time lucky for Manchester United in this spell of play.
Well, that's 4 opportunities he's had in what, minute and a half? And he's disappointed with everyone. At the other end's great block, but I'm not so sure what Seagon's doing. Why he's not just helping us towards goal from this sort of distance, I've no idea. He heads it back across goal. It does give Brown a chance for the block, but I just thought, just a little nick with your head, flick it on, give Van der Sar a problem. But that's a really good block. That's why he's in the side for. Defending means something to him. It just seems to me as if Manchester United have started this second half a little bit more purpose about them. Almost as if they've had a look at Arsenal, the way they're playing, and decided, no, let's push on.
Neville. They've been in fantastic goal-getting form, Manchester United, in the Premiership. And here's Van Nistelrooy, who could have added to his tally here.
Well, I can only think Kolo Toure's too deep here, and he's not up level with Sol Campbell, who's looking to play him onside. You watch Campbell, he's ahead of him, but you look behind him, look at Toure, 2 or 3 yards deeper. What a chance. This guy does not usually miss an opportunity like that. Look at Rooney. Either of them hit the target or just roll it across goal. That is a great opportunity. And attempts starting to grow from Manchester United. Still only the one on target.
Fletcher. Just feel that coming into the last half an hour of the game, Manchester United have the greater strike force. They have set up their way of playing with perhaps more attacking potential than Arsenal. Fletcher. Cut out by Toure. Henry trying to time his movement here. Ferdinand going for the ball rather than stepping out. Was the wiser thing to do. O'Shea and Fletcher. Now Rooney. Great vision and technique. Ronaldo's cross this time. Van Nistelrooy. And Toure, as Lehmann came out, Toure went with the run of Van Nistelrooy.
Watch this from Rooney. Awareness. I talked about Giggs maybe not having it when it came to him, but Rooney certainly had a picture of what was required. And that's super defending from Kolo Toure at the end.
Lehmann's got a problem though. He's also came out to try and deal with the cross.
Well, they're knocking on the door, Manchester United. There isn't a doubt about that. This is a little spell that Arsenal need to see out.
Giggs to take the corner from the corner of the ground where the Manchester United fans are gathered. Arsenal trying to move out. This kick by Fabregas. Pires. Oh, he's a long way away from him. In closer proximity was Jose Antonio Reyes. Having a run at Manchester United here. Just squeezed it back to Pires. Good footwork from him. Again, Henry crowded out in the middle.
Rooney, Graham Paul is sprinting over as if he means business here. With a bit of purpose, the referee. They've had such a good chat this evening, these two, Rooney and the referee.
Rooney now decides to try and have a chat with Phil Sharp, the assistant, but he's been booked.
Well, he's trying to retrieve this, I guess, to stop it going out. I mean, again, I have to say, Martin, I mean, Reyes goes into Rooney. That's the first thing there. I don't think there's a doubt about that. And then the two of them collide and career off the pitch. Maybe he just get fed up with Rooney talking to him, Graham Paul. It certainly wasn't a yellow card, I don't think. Nowhere near it.
Gilberto. Reyes has stayed off the pitch.
Yeah, well, it's the way he clattered into the boards. That's where he got the damage. Careered into the advertising hoardings.
Well, you can understand Alex Ferguson querying it. Fletcher. Rooney. And Gilberto squeezes it away from Manchester United. Now Henry is on the move. He's trying to flick it to Kleb. Brown with power and purpose, and he can go on here to Ronaldo's pass. Rooney by the near post. In goes Van Nistelrooy. And Lauren, who dealt with it on the cover and eventually has gone down holding his face. There was a foot raised by Ruud Van Nistelrooy.
Yeah, I think he'll be quick to apologise. I would be surprised if he doesn't, but super play from Wes Brown. And I don't think they've exposed this area pitch enough. They have more in the second half. But it's a lovely ball, and I just think, why is Van Nistelrooy not diving at that? He's close enough to get his foot up there. Then if he throws himself at that, he surely must be able to get a head on it. But it's a delayed reaction from Lauren, who sees it out of play first.
Well, Rob Swire treating the Arsenal player because Gary Lewin, the Arsenal physio, was busy getting Reyes back into action.
Well, he crashed into that hoarding. That has damaged his left wrist. It's almost as if they're taking their time so that everything can settle, because they're under a bit of pressure.
Quick reminder of a weekend of cup football, and in particular on Sky Sports on Sunday. Clyde against Celtic north of the border, and Manchester United go to Burton Albion south of the border in the third round of the FA Cup. Competition that throws up magical meetings like that, and it's Clough against Ferguson again, but Nigel Clough this time. No surprise that Lauren had recovered quickly. Giggs, well stopped by Gilberto, who makes so many of those tackles in the course of a match. Pires, and what can Arsenal do here? Kleb, he's back the way of the player from Belarus.
Well, they're going to get that now. He talked about feeling hard done by Manchester United, and immediately, as soon as Seagan commits a free kick, you're going to get United players complaining. And this might well be a yellow. I can't think of any other reason why I'd call Seagan back. Yeah.
He's already suspended from Arsenal's FA Cup tie here against Cardiff at the weekend, with 5 yellow cards.
I don't think we can argue with that one, can you?
Two cautions apiece in the game. Henry, helped by Fabregas. Here's Pires. A few more forward for Arsenal in this attack. Gilberto, but it'll be a Manchester United free kick.
He just looked surprised. I think he just hung a leg out, just had a little nick at Ronaldo.
Well, do you think Jose Mourinho and the Chelsea players will be watching thinking, yeah, draw will do us?
I don't think they'll be worried either way, I have to be honest with you. The way they're playing, the lead they have.
Still more than a quarter of the game to go. And there's Reyes trying to raise the temperature for Arsenal here at Highbury tonight. Kleb hoping Henry was behind him. He was, and there's some space for Henry to accelerate into. And Pires!
What a save, sir. Don't know how much Pires actually got on it, but he got something. Handball. Handball, that. I'll tell you what, Martin. He's lucky. Deliberate handball, what does that mean?
Yellow card.
Yeah, and he has one. I thought he stuck his arm up, Wayne, I have to be honest.
The referee had a look at his assistant on the near side, Mike Tingy, who made a gesture that I can only assume was play on. Here's Campbell. Henry. Campbell still running. Fabregas is there. Arsenal won a penalty, and they're not going to get that, and they thought they were going to get a goal afterwards from Henry.
They won both. Henry can't believe it. The big question is, does Gary Neville bundle into the back of Fabregas? Is Fabregas, is that illegal, or is he trying to... Oh, I tell you what, it's a big call. He might have just got enough. It could have gone either way.
Henry played on, and maybe should have scored. Here's Giggs. And he wants handball, but I think it's going to be a corner.
I think, is he?
But the handball with Wayne Rooney is a major talking point here, I think.
Well, it's just... he just knocks it on, up it goes with the hand. Up it goes. Just helps out off his head. Well, the arm was up, but let's just say, I don't think they knew they got it right, the officials, but they did.
They're lined up here at Manchester United at a Ryan Giggs corner. And that's Ronaldo. Van Nistelrooy was looking again, just to steer it into the Arsenal net. It's another corner.
Well, I don't know how much Lehmann got of this either. He just thought Van Nistelrooy was just going to scoop this into the net. Drops in front of him. Oh, I think Kleb's the one he has to thank. It's a super climb from Ronaldo, and I think Kleb gets a bit on this, yep. Well, it's all happening, last 5 minutes.
And here's Gary Neville. And Lehmann got to it, but couldn't hold it. Out comes Pires. Manchester United have committed a lot of players forward. And Pires was taken as the ball was played forward. John O'Shea gets booked, and it's a little bit more like the expressions we've seen in these matches in the past. So Alex Ferguson out into the technical area.
Not happy. I have to say, I mean, I don't know what it is about Graham Paul in second halves, but it was the same in the Liverpool derby. Umpteen yellow cards in the second half. It's the same again in the second half here. Card count is growing steadily.
Campbell. And, 2 straight. Manchester United lead on yellow cards. Fletcher. Sylvestre. Ferdinand. Able to take it on here with Rooney. Ronaldo. Good handling by Lehmann.
That was excellent.
Skipped up at him.
With a bit of pace.
Rooney. Giggs. Good spot by Toure. Manchester United were on the move forward and might be caught having to chase back. Sylvestre bringing down Pires with an air of cynicism.
Well, I think he was just clever, Pires. You try and teach players to go across the run of somebody who's chasing you. Happy in the knowledge that if you do that and he comes in behind you like that, any contact, down to ground, you get the free kick. Now the change is happening. It's whether Bergkamp will play sort of deep or whether he'll go and try and influence the game in an area like Wayne Rooney's been trying to do.
Well, it might have crossed his mind tonight that this will be his last game against Manchester United. But they've still got to go to Old Trafford, of course, Arsenal. And Park is on for Alex Ferguson's team, for Ryan Giggs. Arsenal's free kick. Again, the Manchester United defenders are bossing the movement, or the attempted movement, from Henry's colleagues.
Well, Pires' chance earlier, though, created by Henry. He's looking to just open himself out onto his right side here, but United defend it really well. But he manages to get it across, and wasn't the best of touches, but he got enough on it to just direct it into the far corner. Van der Sar, it's a good spread from the big goalkeeper.
But he was able to spread himself in the direction in which he was already moving. Feel, despite the tightness of the game, that there's a potential decisive moment in the last quarter of an hour or so. Maybe Dennis Bergkamp can deliver something from Arsenal now. For Arsenal, now he's on. There is the fatigue factor to take into account as well, with the half a dozen or so on each side playing their 4th game in 9 days from the start.
I think that's a fair point. It might be a very valid one by the end of this match.
And it has, I think, contributed to maybe a different feel to the evening. Some of the gung-ho passion hasn't been present tonight at Highbury, whatever happens in the last 15 minutes. Van Nistelrooy, in comes Rooney. And Touré didn't hesitate. Lehmann was rather leaning on his centre-back, not literally, of course, but relying on him to tidy up. We'll miss him when he goes away to the African Cup of Nations, Kolo Touré. And Arsenal won't be the only team in the Premiership to be affected by that competition. Ferdinand polished him much of what he's done tonight. Park keeps his record going, have been involved in every Premiership game since signing for Manchester United this season.
Struggling for cover here now, Seagal.
Neville. Ronaldo and Seagal. Decision there is play on, which suited to Pascal Seagal. But now Rooney and Van Nistelrooy. And, Sol Campbell put it on the line, then the tackle.
We're both at half chances in this second half. Much more likelihood of a goal than we had in the first.
Well, you asked me earlier, Andy, about what would the managers take. I think a scrappy 1-0 win.
Absolutely.
Be top of that list at the moment. Campbell. Brown determined against Henry, but it's picked up by Perez. Again, Ferdinand in good position to deal with the Arsenal threat, which has been limited. Seagal. And it might just take a moment, one moment. Fabregas. Cleared by Silvestre. Silvestre again. And the ball has gone out of play eventually. And Lauren's still got plenty of running left in him. So Flamini getting ready to come on for Arsenal. Touré. Gilberto. Into Henry. And now Bergkamp. Stopped pretty quickly and emphatically by Fletcher. Van Nistelrooy for Ronaldo is behind Seagal. Campbell decided not to go across. Ronaldo winding up for it. Lehmann was concerned what damage any deflection might do. Reyes. It's still 0-0.
As much as tired legs and limbs, it's the tired minds that might prove costly. Anyone who switches off loses concentration at the back. This might be the difference.
Touré. Bergkamp. Much of Arsenal's football this evening has been played in front of Manchester United's defensive line, and the organisation now of Sir Alex Ferguson's team is strong in the Premiership. It was threatened by this incident that led to the penalty claim.
Yeah, well, you can see where the referee is. He's got a perfect position for this, and as he sees him come in, maybe Fletcher's just blocking him. But that's a corner as well, because I tell you what, Rio Ferdinand got a touch on that shot from Henry that might well have gone in. And that's probably the biggest decision he's had to make, the referee, this evening.
It's 16 for 15. Flamini for Fabregas.
Has he played all the games, Mark Fabregas? Started them all this period?
No, he was rested for one, wasn't he? Yeah.
Well, like 18 though, it's a big ask, isn't it? A lot of football for the lad.
And he's got a lot of football to play.
Oh, wow.
And this year he hopes which will take him into the World Cup squad for Spain. He's close to it, but not exactly a full international yet. Can't be long. Headed by Henry. Pires. There's been a lot of mutual respect on view tonight, but now is the time. 10 minutes to go. Have a go. Gilberto. Well, Arsenal have stayed intact. Of course, it's their back four over the 4 games. Henry, of course, has played every game over the festive period. And Henry just came back from an offside position then. And maybe again the weariness in the legs or the weariness in the mind, maybe both conspiring to just being caught too far forward. Ronaldo. There's a big prize for a late burst here. Brown. Fletcher and Gary Neville anticipating that Fletcher would spot his run. Just behind Rooney and Van Nistelrooy.
Well, that's what I mean. Just Reyes just switched off for a second there. And then Neville very quickly in behind him. That's all it might take in these last 8 or 9 minutes of this match.
Arsenal's supporters trying to play their part. And Lehmann not playing his part. He's slipped and kicked it straight out of play. Fletcher still flying forward. Back to Ronaldo. John O'Shea's in the middle as well. This was Rooney and Van Nistelrooy. That's Rooney, and behind him was Park Ji-sung.
Difficult volley over his shoulder. This is a much better delivery. I just think he's had the ability to do that all game, Ronaldo. Done it more in the second half. And that wasn't an easy chance for him.
Yeah, Park played here for PSV in the Champions League last season. And Lehmann again. At a time when Arsenal is striving to get forward, the goalkeeper is having major difficulties with his kicking.
I don't think his fullback helped him with giving it straight back, though, did he?
Well, we're talking about tired legs, but I don't think we can think that Lehmann's got tired legs. But here's Ronaldo. It's a corner. Certainly the trajectory of the ball tipped away as if it had been deflected. Rio Ferdinand knows that his brother Anton is here, the West Ham player. They're having a personal bet on who gets the most Premiership goals this season. Rio is leading 2-1 at the moment. Park. Oh, he's got a long, long way to go. He's got Flamini ahead of him down the touchline, but not in a position where he can really find him. So Henry's still running, and look at Rooney. Just settling for tackling the ball out of play. We'll have a little back heel. We'll make sure we keep possession. And it all comes in this amazing Wayne Rooney package. Park. O'Shea. Fletcher. Rooney. Winding himself up for the clearance. Fletcher jumping as if he's playing his first game of the season. Seagull having got his tackle in. Thought he was going to get a goal kick out of it, but in the end, it's probably a corner that Arsenal will feel that they shouldn't have conceded. Now, what can Manchester United make of it with 6 minutes or so left? A night of few opportunities at Highbury. Maybe one will be enough at this very late stage.
That was a good header from Sol Campbell.
a short one on to Gary Neville. And Park has decided to obey the call from the captain. Fletcher. It's Rooney, actually the deepest defender for Manchester United. And in goes Neville!
Well, it wasn't easy. What a run. I think the little flick from Van Nistelrooy is the one that takes him. I think it's Van Nistelrooy. Drills it low. No, it wasn't Van Nistelrooy, one of the Arsenal players. He got a little touch on it. Well, that would have been a story.
Yeah, he's never scored an away goal in the Premiership. But I think one at Highbury and a winner too would be enough to last him a career. And there are 5 minutes to go. Gilberto. Now Toure. It's just hopeful, and that could be a push by Brown.
The lines on his flag.
Graham Poll didn't look as though he was going to give it straight away.
He waved it away, actually. He waved it away, and the lines on his flag went straight up. Push, he's saying.
And Rio Ferdinand in a hurry to go and remonstrate with Phil Sharp. And what players say here is, should assistants be overruling referees?
Well, I think when the assistants get a better view, which I guess he has from square on, and he sees both hands up, he sees the push in Bergkamp.
Teamwork from the officials.
I guess that's what you're looking for, but we won't hear the end of it if this flies in the top corner, I'll tell you that now.
And the responsibility for trying to make it fly into the top corner rests with Jose Antonio Reyes for Arsenal. Manchester United had dropped everyone back. Here's Toure. Lauren. Well, they're tired, the players. You've got to understand that. Calling for reaction to the knockdown.
I just wondered if Bergkamp could have not backed off and taken on his chest. He must have had an idea that the ball was going to be missed.
And Rooney's taken one on his midriff, and now almost got Ronaldo in. Seagal not too comfortable clearing on his right foot. Still in. And the game is still on. Gilberto squanders possession for Arsenal. Here's Fletcher. A bit of a push and shove with Reyes and with the referee. He's been dynamic, Darren Fletcher, in terms of covering the ground here tonight.
Yeah, I think him and O'Shea have done really well for Manchester United.
So it's another set piece. Reyes' effort came to naught at the other end a few moments ago. Cristiano Ronaldo, who specialises in trying to put it into an area behind defenders, with Manchester United putting runners across the line a bit, but he's not doing that here. He's hit it with the outside of the right foot.
No, I can't believe that. Seriously, he makes some strange decisions, Ronaldo. He doesn't enamour himself to his teammates at times. With what, less than 2 minutes to go, everybody up, you've loaded them all up, and you do that.
Well, here comes Emmanuel Eboué for Jose Antonio Reyes, who's run himself into the ground.
Yeah.
Who is first and foremost a right back, but can raid down the right-hand side, and is just going to play ahead of Lauren. O'Shea, good challenge, drops for Fletcher. Rooney. Now Gilberto. Bergkamp. Here's Pires. Again, Fletcher faster and first to it. Risky by Gilberto, delaying the taking of the free kick. Fletcher again. Park. Neville. too many of this Manchester United side settling for a draw.
That was an urgency about him, wasn't it? Late on.
O'Shea. Fletcher. Rooney. Van Nistelrooy, the flag is up, the goalkeeper's out. And Paul didn't halt the game. Tingley was flagging. There'll be 3 extra minutes. And we're into those 3 minutes now. Bergkamp. It was a terrific challenge by Silvestre. And here's Rooney, one of 4 going forward for United. Rooney, part to the right. And a stumble by Seagon, which necessitated a pretty desperate swing at the ball.
A little bit more pace on it from Wayne Rooney, and Seagon wouldn't have gotten to it.
I've seen some late goals. Tim Cahill at Sunderland recently for Everton. And off the line, and we've nearly got one here. And we might still, because this is Van Nistelrooy. He's given offside.
Well, here's a little example. People who don't protect the posts. Arsenal would have lost it if they didn't. It's a stunning header, this. And a buoy right on the line. He's not there, it's 1-0.
Wes Brown. A whisker away. Park. And Van Nistelrooy on the run. 90 minutes up, we're in the last 90 seconds of the contest here. It's another Manchester United corner.
Well, they've really pushed forward second half, Manchester United, with an intent to win this game.
O'Shea towards the near post, Brown coming in behind him. Rooney setting his sights. But, he was challenged, as he should have been, by Arsenal pretty collectively, as he tried to let rip. And even though he seems to write his own script sometimes, the 93rd minute winner at Highbury doesn't seem to be quite on the agenda tonight. Arsene Wenger, to some extent, dictated the shape of this game with the way he set out his team. A 5-man midfield that got them a goalless draw over 2 hours in the FA Cup final, and a penalty shootout win. There's no decisive element here, and it's 0-0 in the Premiership. A handshake between the managers who've been bitter rivals down the years, and opponents like Gary Neville and Sol Campbell have had plenty of battles. But the Highbury rivalry, bar the fickle finger of fate in an FA Cup draw, has come to an end with a bit of a damp squib, in truth. There's some reward for both sides, but I guess the best of this result is for Chelsea, with the clubs that finished second and third last season to Chelsea, both dropping points here. Wes Brown nearly won it very late on, but Eboué just on, kept it out on the post. No goals for Van Nistelrooy tonight on his 200th Manchester United appearance, but plenty of satisfaction, I think, as the away side. They've stopped Arsenal winning. They take their bows, and the final score is 0-0.
First one between these two since 1994. 13 points, the gap at the top for Chelsea. Arsenal up into 5th with their point on the basis of goal difference. Don't forget there's more live football tomorrow night. Manchester City play Spurs. It's a 7 o'clock start on Sky Sports 1. And looking further ahead to the weekend, Sunday, that's obviously a Scottish Cup third round tie. Clyde play Celtic. Roy Keane available for Celtic, and you would have thought would take part at some stage. 12:30 start, Sky Sports 1. And then it's a tension with Manchester United again at Burton. That too, a third round cup tie. 3 o'clock start, Sky Sports 1. George Graham, Ray Wilkins, Jamie Redknapp have been with us all night. All a little frustrated, in truth, because we expected so much more. In the end, a point apiece, honours even, and all the reaction comes next.
We didn't really see that shine through on the evening, unfortunately. You know, it was pretty evident. I thought Man U targeted Segan in the second half down this right-hand side, got themselves into great positions, but unfortunately couldn't capitalise on it.
We heard from Hernan Crespo before the start. He was here working for Italian television tonight. He said, we'll take a draw. I mean, it just gets better and better for Chelsea, doesn't it?
It does, unfortunately. No, before the game, Richard, we were talking about the likes of Rooney, Van Nistelrooy, Henry, giving them the big G up. But sometimes you just sit back, and George is a big, admire defensive play. And today, I think the likes of Campbell and Toure at the back, Ferdinand and Brown, they really defended well, and defences were certainly on top. It was one of those days. It just didn't seem to the game never ignited. There was no real spark today, unfortunately, going forward for either team. Manchester United, for me, second half looked like the team most likely, but it just didn't happen.
Back to basics, it seems, for Arsenal. That's 4 clean sheets on the bounce, George. That would please you, wouldn't it?
No, not really, Richard. I mean, they're up there. They've set their standards now, Arsenal, you know, over the last, 8 years. And just now, as I said earlier, they're rebuilding, so the standards have dropped. I think they need more quality players in there. And tonight, we were discussing it quite a lot before the game. The big players didn't give the big performances tonight. It's as simple as that. A bit disappointed.
Was there ever a winner in it for you?
I thought Man U's second half looked as if they were going to be a side that would nick it, Richard, yeah, especially down this side here, because they did get themselves into some good positions. They had plenty of players going across near post at the back post, but unfortunately just couldn't nick it. This was a fantastic header from Wes Brown. But as Andy quite rightly said on commentary, people on the post and you get those away. But there's lots of teams out there at the moment that don't put people on back posts last minute of the game, and that could have been a winner.
I don't want to deeply get into that debate, but why don't they put people on posts?
I've no idea. The first objective when you defend a corner kick is to defend your goal. And if it means that you stick people on back posts, then you stick them there, because how many times you see little nicks and they actually fly on the far side? A lot of times.
You mark posts, George?
Only the far post, never the near post. Invariably, you always find that there's somebody on the near post, an opposition player. We'll put a player in front of him and a player behind him. If the ball swings out, the spare player who's in the space, he then reverts back onto the near post. So if they're going to take a near post, we will solve that problem. Either the guy in front of the attacker, or the guy behind clears it. If they hit an out-swinging corner kick, the guy in the space just reverts onto the post then.
You talk about the big players disappointed. I mean, we talked a lot about Van Nistelrooy, didn't we, in the build-up, and the number of goals he scored this season, Jamie. Are these opportunities that normally you would expect to see him put away?
Yeah, for sure. It was a great opportunity for him. That's a sort of chance. He snatched it in a little bit. This is another one. Now, that's a half chance, Richie. He just gets in front of Toure. But the first one was definitely a great chance. Again, good block by Hleb, and he just comes off that post. If he doesn't come off the post there, Van Nistelrooy's got a free chance. So sometimes if you take him off the post, it can work as well.
Brown saw an effort cleared off the line. Gary Neville, very nearly, I think for the first time on his travels, found a way through as well. How good a chance was this?
A great chance. I mean, it's difficult, to be honest, Richard, but he just catches his studs. He gambles. He makes that. It's a great run, and he just doesn't quite get enough of it. I think his left foot just goes underneath him as well on the surface. But it was a good chance, but few and far between the chances, especially second half.
He was also right at the heart of an incident at the other end, Gary Neville, when Arsenal felt they should have had a penalty. Well, any sympathy with that view?
I would tend to agree with Andy. I thought Gary just about got enough on the ball, to be perfectly honest. I think since he's come back from injury, it has also coincided with Manchester United actually performing a lot better.
He was lucky he didn't stick your leg out there, Razor, wasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. They've actually got a few blokes back in the dressing room now, Man U, and I think Neville's really taken that mantle on. And I thought tonight he had a super game, and he's playing with full of enthusiasm, life, energy, exactly what they need at the moment. Yeah,
the back four actually of Manchester United I thought played very well, and considering that Arsenal had the spare player in the midfield, and it'd be interesting actually what Arsene says about playing 3 in midfield. You know, which he very rarely does.
Well, he doesn't like it, does he?
He doesn't like it, but
he won in the FA Cup.
So, I mean, it's a little question that maybe somebody should ask him.
Well, maybe somebody will, as soon as we get the opportunity. Would you, if you were in charge and you had these players at your disposal, would you mentioned it briefly at half-time, would you set up more often like that on the road?
Well, I thought that Arsenal's performance tonight is as good as I've seen. Maybe at home they played a lot better, but away from home they've been very, very disappointing, Richard. They've had loads of possession, but you always feel as if they don't score, they look vulnerable. You always think you can score against them. But tonight, I thought it was a disciplined performance, and I thought if they take that formation, that 4-5-1, you know, whatever way you want to call it, 4-3-3, I think if they took that on the road, they would have a lot more points.
Do you think that there was any point during today, the preparation, the game, that Arsenal really believed they could win it?
I've just got a funny feeling that they were quite happy with the point. You know, it took them to bring on Dennis Bergkamp, and then they obviously changed it a little bit. Then they almost played it 4-4-1-1 with Dennis sort of drifting, you know, just off Henry. But it took an awful long time. I think it was 15-20 minutes before they brought him on at the end, and that told me they weren't really wanting to win it. A draw. He was quite happy with a draw.
Which is extraordinary when you think about it, isn't it?
Maybe not, because maybe he thinks that they're strong enough to beat the majority of the rest of the teams. You know, they've got an awful lot of games left. So maybe he thought maybe against Manchester United that was probably a good result.
And from Manchester United's point of view, Ray, is it points dropped or is this one gained in pursuit of, it would appear now, then second place?
Well, I think that's what they want, Richard, and tonight would be a point gained, I would have thought. They seemed pretty content, especially in the first half, to just nullify Arsenal. Didn't create too much themselves. But I felt in the second half they had a go. They had a go to try and win it for a certain period. But again, they were rock solid defensively. They had the two players in front of them in O'Shea and Fletcher. And I thought Fletcher was outstanding tonight. I thought he passed the ball very well indeed. And that's probably the best I've seen that young man play.
Are we really saying that they've given up?
Yeah. They want to come second now.
But I don't think Alec will admit that.
No, he won't admit it.
He definitely won't admit it. But, I mean, they've got to expect Chelsea to have a really bad spell. You know, not just dropping points, but actually losing quite a few games. And I don't think Alec, deep down, really believes that'll happen.
It was this period last year, as we said right at the start of the programme, when Chelsea put their foot on the gas and I think looked back on their season and said, we want it there. Do you think the same thing has happened?
It's been a great period for them. You know, the result against West Ham United was a big result. You know, just after half-time, they asked a question, Manchester United, but Chelsea answered it. They've got so many good players at their disposal, so many good forwards. They look so together. I think John Terry said it the other day. They've lost one game in the last year. Why are they going to go and lose 4 now? They've just got that togetherness, and I think it's completely all over.
It does give them a wonderful opportunity to start thinking about the game against Barcelona, doesn't it? With a lead like
I mean, that's going to be mouth-watering time. You know, one we're thoroughly looking forward to watching again. But they're in such good form at the moment, and you can't see anyone getting anywhere near them in the Premiership this year.
And Jose said, Richard, at the start of the season, wants 2 top-class players for every position that he has. There's no other team in the country that can rotate or change players like Jose can do. He can rest players. He can pick a totally different team, as he will do against Huddersfield on Saturday. So it won't be the first team, won't be John Terry, won't be Frank, I wouldn't have thought, won't be Makelele. But in will come Robert Huth, the German centre-half. So he's got players that he can actually bring in, but of real quality, not reserve players. These are first-team footballers.
But the only one little problem could be the African Nations Cup. They're going to lose Drogba, and they've only got Crespo to take over, and he picked up an injury the other day. So if he gets an injury, you know, they've only got Carlton Cole to play up front. And they're also going to lose Essien. Makelele? Is it
Manish,
no.
I think they're looking to get Manish as well, aren't they? I think that's going to be done this week.
And that's probably the only hope.
Keep talking though, because you're encouraging us.
well, why not? I mean, that's when you're a manager, you know, you don't accept it. And I mean, that's why you speak to Alec now, there's no way he'll accept that they're out of it. You know, and that's the way you've got to be. You've got to be a super optimist.
Well, we are still waiting to hear from the Manchester United manager, but the Barclays man of the match here today, as voted for by the boys here, Darren Fletcher of Manchester United, who's with Jeff Shreves.
Darren, why do you think neither side were able to make the breakthrough?
I'm not sure, really. I think both sides were trying to, and it just didn't seem to happen. I think we were a little bit disappointed to come off the pitch with a draw. We were definitely looking for the win and thought we might have slightly deserved it.
In some ways, did you both pay each other too much respect?
No, not at all. I think sometimes when 2 good teams go together, you get stalemates, but I think the game itself, it was end-to-end action, and I was surprised it finished goalless, but that's the way it goes.
With Arsenal playing that formation, just how crowded was it in midfield?
It wasn't too crowded because they didn't quite congest it. The 3 midfield players, especially in the central, dragged us wide a little bit and tried to play through the middle of us. And obviously, when we had the ball, they dropped back to make a 5, which is difficult when we've got the ball. But we've come up against that many times, and it's something that you learn to deal with.
Who do you think had the better of either half?
I think definitely us second half. I think we were a team that were going on to win the game, and I think had Arsenal on the ropes a little bit in the second half and just couldn't quite manage to kill them off.
What was your best chance, do you think?
That's hard to say. We had a few good chances, and we're disappointed not to take them, and a few of the lads are disappointed that they haven't taken their chances.
Nobody wins tonight. Are the real winners Chelsea?
Yeah, definitely. Losing ground again, and obviously Chelsea will be watching that and they'll be pleased, obviously, that we've dropped points because we're their closest rivals, and Arsenal are a little bit behind, but they'll be disappointed as well. But it is Chelsea are the winners tonight from that game. How difficult is it for you to keep going, hoping desperately that Chelsea slip up? You just have to, and you just have to keep hope and keep persisting with the way we're playing. We're playing some good attacking football just now, and who knows, we've just got to keep winning and make sure we're in second place so that if Chelsea do slip up, we're the team that can take advantage. OK, just at 1 point, but you also go away with the Barclays Man of the Match champagne. Here you go, Darren. Thank you. Cheers. What do you make of Darren Fletcher, George? Not just tonight, but his general education at the moment.
It's a very difficult situation when he's come in, because obviously they've lost the heart of their club over the last 10 years, Roy Keane. And to try to replace him, I mean, Alec must know he needs a big player, a massive player in the middle of the pitch, as does Arsenal, by the way. And to try to replace Roy Keane must be almost impossible. So he's got to give the young players, you know, their opportunity, as is Arsene Wenger here. And as I said earlier, the most difficult thing being a manager when you've had a great team, when it sort of like then dips, is to try to build another great team, and it takes time, Richard. You like the look of Fletcher? That's the best I've seen him play tonight, Richard. They've played him wide right, they've played him inside. I think possibly inside is his best position, but let's give him a chance. I think when you're playing for a big club like Manchester United, everybody expects you to be the next Roy Keane or David Beckham. Well, that just doesn't happen. Let's give him a chance and see if he can improve. OK, well, we're not finished yet. More reaction when we come back on an evening that I think, as most have said, Chelsea have really won tonight. Couldn't separate Arsenal and Manchester United. We'll hope to get the thoughts of both managers when we come back.
You've got 1. You want some? 2. Get on your horse. 3 chances to fire away those winter blues. That's where I'm heading. Hey! Lord of mercy! There's a sharpshooting triple bill of westerns every Saturday and Sunday in January on Sky Cinema 1.
Party's over.
40, 50, 60. 70, 71, 72. 100. Put the fun back into driving. Corsa from Vauxhall.
Thought you couldn't afford a games console? You can at Cash Converters, because second hand doesn't mean second best.
Cash Converters.
No one really knows what's going to happen in the future, and I don't like surprises. That's why I do like inflation-beating savings. They're guaranteed to grow ahead of inflation whatever happens. They're tax-free, no risk, and I believe in them. That's why my fee for this ad is going to Great Ormond Street.
To invest in inflation-beating savings, visit nsandi.com.
It makes sense to keep things simple, money included. That's why we've set up stakeholder saving. For a simple way to start saving, go to stakeholdersaving.gov.uk.
The PC World Sale is now on, with wireless networking kits from just $39.99.
PC World. There are great offers on mortgages, savings and bank accounts at the HSBC up to half-price sale. Visit us in branch or anytime online.
1, 2.